I'm enlisted. I've done 19 years in the Air Force, and right now I make more money than most generals in the military. And it all started with a $12 book that completely rewired my brain. Look, this isn't some get rich quick scheme or how to invest in crypto or multi-level marketing, anything like that. This is about breaking the mental prison that keeps 95% of people broke, thinking that your paycheck has to match your rank. There's a game that wealthy people play that most people don't know anything about, and this video is going to break all of that down, so hopefully I can inspire somebody to start thinking bigger. So here's what actually keeps most people financially stuck, and it's not what you think. It's not your MOS or your AFSC. It's not your rank. It's not how long you've been in the military. It's your small thinking. Most people operate on a broke person's blueprint. Work hard, get promoted, save a little, retire on a pension. I'm just enlisted. Officers make the real money. Rich people either get lucky or they had rich parents. But here's a brutal reality check. The US Census Bureau collected some data, and they discovered that the median retirement savings for Americans aged 55 to 64 is only $134,000. I need y'all to read that again, y'all. That's $134,000. That's not retirement money. That's, I hope I die before I run out of money. After 40 years of hard work and you save $134,000, that's not enough money to buy you a retirement home. So why does this happen? Because most people spent the last 4 decades selling hours instead of selling value. They thought small, they stayed small, and they retired small. Look, right now, if your mindset sounds like this, I make $25 an hour. I'm grinding these 12 hours for that overtime pay, y'all. I just got a $2 raise. I'm moving up. You're not building wealth, you're building a prison. And let me show you the math that nobody probably ever showed you. So let's say you're working 40 hours a week. That's 52 weeks a year. And let's say you make $40 an hour. The most you can make in that year is about $83,000, and that's before the taxes. And most people, they do this for 20 years. They do this for 30 years. They do this for 40 years, and to the point where they can't work anymore. That $12 book that I bought, the book that broke my brain, I got that book in 2019. I was exactly where you are. I was grinding, I was broke, I was frustrated, and I remember sitting at Vegas watching everybody around me at a pool party having the time of their life, and I couldn't because I was broke, and I knew this has got to stop. So luckily for me, we had a new squadron commander come in, and the squadron commander started recommending books that he's read in his life, and one of them was The Magic of Thinking Big. And this book changed my life, y'all. Now, when I first heard the title, I thought it was kind of corny, actually. I actually thought it was a weak-ass title. But the book held up. Like, it didn't just change my thinking, it destroyed like every limitation that I had about money, success, and what was possible for somebody like me. The line that sat with me, the line that resonated with me was, the size of your success is determined by the size of your thinking. And I realized that I was thinking like my rank. I was thinking in hundreds when I should have been thinking in thousands. I was thinking in hours when I should have been thinking in impact. I was thinking in limitations when I should have been thinking in leverage. And 6 months later, after I read this book, that was the first time, I swear to God, in my life where I made over $20,000 in a month. Not from working more hours, but from fixing bigger problems. So here's what the magic of thinking big. Here's what that book taught me that no school is going to teach you, that probably no financial advisor is going to teach you. Small thinking. This is when you think wealth comes from working harder. This is what most people think. And then you have big thinking. This is when wealth comes from solving bigger problems. You got a simple wealth formula. Money flows to people who solve meaningful problems. That's it. So the more people that you help, the more money that you can make. So you can get paid for your impact, not just for the effort. So wealth isn't magic. It's not luck. It's a system. I like to call this the value ladder. And every person climbs it, whether they make it to the highest level or they stay on the lowest level. Every person is on this value ladder. So level 1, this is people who solve problems with their hands, or they solve problems with themselves. So let's think of like a barber. The problem the barber solves is people who need haircuts. So no matter how good this barber is, if they're on level 1, they can only cut so many heads a day and solve the problem. So they're selling time for money, and this has an income ceiling. And then you have level 2. These are people who solve problems with their knowledge. So they do this by like coaching, tutoring, or consulting. They're still trading time for money, but instead of actually doing the time with their hands, they're doing it with their knowledge. So this would be like that barber opening up a barber school and teaching hundreds of students how to cut hair exactly like them, but they're still trading their time to teach these people. Like, this still has an income ceiling, but it's higher than level 1. And then you have level 3. These are people who solve problems with their systems and courses. So these are people who've made like content or automated processes, and now they can take that automated process, they can trade it one time, they can sell it one time, and then because they sold that system, they can earn repeatedly. But this still has an income ceiling, but you're talking way higher than level 3. But the last level that people can aspire to be, and only few people actually make it to, and these are the people who solve problems at scale, and they do this through products, businesses, investments. These are the people whose money works for them while they sleep, and this level has no income ceiling. This is the sky's the limit for these people. It is the hardest level to obtain, but it is still obtainable if you believe that it is. Most people only make it to level 1, and they're selling time for money. They spend 40 years perfecting how to trade time for money. Wealthy people build systems that work without them. They build a system that they sell that other people can implement. They solve problems for thousands of people simultaneously all at once. That's the difference between working 60 hours a week and making $60,000 a year versus making $60,000 a month while you're on vacation. Look, I'm not telling you to not join the military, and I'm not telling you to get out of the military, because honestly, the military is the best wealth building environment on earth. And this is what I mean by that. Most people see military service as a job. I see it as the ultimate financial cryo chamber. Y'all remember in Dragon Ball Z how they had the cryo chambers? Vegeta, Goku, they would get in there when they were weak, and then they would sit in there for a little while and they come out powered up. That is the military for your finances, because you get free housing, you get free healthcare, you have zero survival pressure. You have a guaranteed paycheck coming in every 1st and 15th. It's the perfect safety net for taking risks. You get discipline and structure. You get built-in success habits. You get tuition assistance, free skill development, VA home loan benefits. You get instant real estate leverage, global network. You get a built-in customer base. You even get leadership training and automatic credibility just from being in the military. So I need you to think about that. You can start a business without worrying about losing insurance. You can take risks without worrying about making rent. You can learn new skills without going into debt, and you can build an audience while getting paid to do it because the military is backing you. A lot of civilian entrepreneurs, they do not have that safety net. If they fail, they land flat. If you fail, you still got your check, you still got a place to live, and you can start over. But most people in the military, they waste this advantage. They spend their military years complaining about their rank instead of building their worth. So don't be most people. Here's a test that you can do to let you know if you're a big thinker versus a small thinker. I need you to honestly answer this question. Can you see yourself making $25,000 in a single month? And I'm not talking about someday, not if everything goes perfect. I'm talking about within the next 2 to 3 years. Realistically, if you started listing reasons why this is impossible, that's not an income problem, that's a thinking problem. And you know, they did research at Princeton University, and they discovered that your belief about what's financially possible for you is more predictive of your future wealth than your intelligence, your education, and even your family background. So translation, your internal financial thermostat is set to small. The good news is these thermostats can be reset. Bad news is most people never try. So here's the reality. There are 22-year-old TikTok dancers making $50,000 a month. There are college dropouts making $100,000 a month with online courses. And these people have zero business experience. But what do they have in common that you don't? They all think it's possible. So here's how you got to start thinking bigger with a 4-step framework. You don't need to get out the military. You don't even need to start a business next week. You just need to start thinking bigger today. So step 1 is identify a problem. What problem do you already solve in your daily life? Something as simple as how do you stay fit on deployments, or how do you manage your money on military pay? Something simple. You don't want to overcomplicate this. And then step 2 is doing a scale assessment. Who else has this exact same problem? Is it just people in your unit? Is it people at your base? Is it people all inside the military? Is it people all inside the United States? How many people can this affect? Are we talking hundreds? Are we talking thousands? Step 3 is gathering a ground where all these people hang out online. So what Facebook groups are they in? What Reddit communities, military forums, LinkedIn groups, Instagram hashtags, anything like that? Where do these people hang out? And then step 4 is solution scaling. How could you deliver your solution to this problem to 1,000 people instead of one person? Could you make a video course? Could you write a comprehensive guide? Could you create a monthly coaching program? Could you build a simple app or tool? This isn't a theory, y'all. This is the exact same process that I use that took me from making E7 pay to making over multiple 6 figures a year. So we got to stop thinking in hours and we got to start thinking in outcomes. Stop thinking in paychecks, start thinking in problem solved. Stop thinking in your rank, start thinking in your potential. You're not underpaid, you're under leverage. Military pays you what it thinks you're worth based on your rank, and the market outside of the military pays you what you can prove you're worth based on your value. Your rank is where you started, your thinking determines where you finish. David Schwartz was right, y'all. The writer of Magic of Thinking Big. The size of your success is determined by the size of your thinking. And most people think small. I'm just an E4. I don't have a degree. I'm not a business minded. I'll figure it out when I get out. Big thinkers think differently. I have unique skills that solve real life problems. I have access to a massive network of potential customers. I have guaranteed income to take calculated risk. I can build something now that will support me forever. The military isn't your ceiling, y'all. It's your launch pad. Don't just serve your country, build your future. Don't just earn a paycheck, create your empire. And don't just hope for the best. Engineer your success. Start with reading The Magic of Thinking Big. That is your first step. Do that now. But if you like just watching my videos and you're trying to figure out which branch is right for you to join, I got a video on the screen breaking that down as well. But like I always say, I hope this video brought value to you. Stay beautiful, stay classy, and until next time, check me out.